Justin Bieber's world is spinning right now, and what's happening behind closed doors might shock you more than you think. While we're watching him smile in public and launch fashion lines, sources close to the couple are revealing something completely different. Hailey Bieber wants another baby, and she wants it now, but Justin's team is practically begging her to pump the brakes. They're saying he's barely holding it together as it is, and another child could send him spiraling into a place darker than we've ever seen. If you want to know what's really going on with one of pop music's biggest stars, and whether his marriage can survive what's coming next, you need to stick around because this story gets intense. And hey, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now because you won't want to miss what happens next in the saga. The headlines started appearing everywhere, and they weren't subtle about it. Justin Bieber fragile amid Hailey's revelation that she wants baby number 2. The words that followed were even more alarming. This could push him over the edge. When you read something like that about someone who's already been through so much, it hits different. Justin became a father not too long ago, and watching him navigate that transition was something else entirely. He went through every emotion you could imagine, and it made sense when you consider what he experienced growing up. Those clips of him as a young kid with Diddy, the ones that make your skin crawl when you watch them now, they tell a story that nobody wants to acknowledge, but everyone knows is there. Becoming a father changed something fundamental in Justin. He started seeing the world through the eyes of someone who understands innocence and how fragile it really is. He knows what happens when that innocence gets stolen, when powerful people take advantage of someone too young to protect themselves. His son represents everything pure in the world, and Justin wants to shield him from the darkness that he knows exists because he lived through it himself. The idea that he would want to protect his child from those same evils makes complete sense when you understand his story. He would know better than almost anyone what's out there waiting to corrupt and destroy. Now we're hearing that Hailey is scrambling to keep her psychologically struggling husband stable, and the solution she's supposedly come up with is another baby. Sources are calling it a band-aid baby, something to patch up a marriage that's showing serious cracks. Here's the thing though, and you don't need to be a relationship expert to know this. Adding more children to a relationship that's already toxic doesn't fix anything. It just adds more pressure, more stress, more reasons to stay when maybe you shouldn't. Hailey did give an interview recently where she talked about wanting more than one kid, and she mentioned how difficult her first pregnancy and the early days of motherhood were for her. Taking time before jumping into a second pregnancy makes sense from that perspective. She's saying she feels much more prepared now for another child than she was the first time around. That's pretty typical, actually. The first kid is terrifying because you have no idea what you're doing. By the second one, you've been through the sleepless nights and the constant worry, so theoretically it should be easier. Keep having more kids, and eventually you've got a situation like the Kardashians where there are so many children running around that keeping track of them all becomes its own challenge. Kylie and Kendall have talked about how much they got away with growing up because their parents were juggling so many kids at once. The more children you add to the mix, the harder it becomes to monitor everything. But sources close to the situation are saying that Hailey has this idea that another baby might encourage Justin to stay focused and walk the line. The problem is that everyone around him knows he's as fragile as a vase right now. Adding more stress with a second child doesn't seem like the strategy that's going to keep him grounded. It could actually do the opposite and push him right back over the edge into the dark place he's fought so hard to climb out of. Justin has been incredibly open about his struggles with mental health, admitting that he's self-medicated his crippling anxiety and depression with marijuana and prescription pills. That kind of honesty is rare for someone at his level of fame, and it shows how desperate things got for him. On top of everything else he's dealing with, Justin is also grieving the death of his beloved grandfather, Bruce Dale. This wasn't just any grandfather to him. Bruce was the person who raised Justin when his parents split up and his father wasn't around. He was the father figure Justin needed during those crucial years, at least until Diddy came into the picture and took on that role in ways that we're only now beginning to fully understand. Losing someone who was that important to you, someone who gave you stability when everything else was chaos, that kind of loss hits differently. It's the kind of grief that doesn't just go away because you're busy or successful or because people expect you to move on. People close to Justin are genuinely worried about him right now. He's got his music career to focus on, the Grammys to think about, his fashion brand Skylark to manage, and Coachella coming up where everyone will be watching to see if he's got it together or if he's falling apart on stage. We saw him snap at the paparazzi just a few months ago, and while he seems to be doing better now, the concern is that adding a second baby into this mix is the last thing he needs. The insider information suggests that Justin's behavior has been concerning enough that people fear he could spiral into an even worse mental state than he's in currently. That's a scary thought when you consider how bad things have gotten for him in the past. But it's not all doom and gloom when it comes to Justin and Hailey. There's actually some lighter news that's been making the rounds, and it's both hilarious and slightly concerning depending on how you look at it. Someone used artificial intelligence to create a male version of Hailey Bieber, and the internet absolutely lost its mind over it. Hailey herself saw this AI version and commented with the word raw, which in internet speak means she's extremely attracted to this male version of herself. Kendall Jenner also got the AI treatment and was turned into a man, and both Hailey and Kendall seem to be completely here for it. Looking at these AI-generated male versions, you have to admit they're surprisingly attractive. Like genuinely handsome in a way that makes you question things about yourself. Hailey as a man has this bone structure and these features that somehow work even better in masculine form. Some people have pointed out that male Hailey kind of looks like Putin because of the bone structure, which is a wild observation but not entirely wrong when you see them side by side. The comment section on these AI images went absolutely wild. People were saying things like Hailey is stealing the spotlight and the teen heartthrob title from Justin Bieber. Someone else wrote that Hailey as a woman is fine, but as a guy, she's fine as hell. The videos that were created using this AI technology look incredibly realistic. It genuinely appears to be a real person, and the resemblance to Hailey is unmistakable. Watching AI Hailey put on sunglasses with all that masculine confidence is something else entirely. The muscular build, the jawline, everything comes together in a way that is people developing crushes on someone who doesn't actually exist. Comments kept rolling in about how handsome this version is, with people saying they're in love with someone who isn't even real. One person joked that if Hailey had been born a man, no one could stop her and she'd probably be a Nepo baby actor in Hollywood. Someone else chimed in saying that she's literally more handsome than Justin Bieber, which has to sting a little bit if Justin ever sees these comments. One person tried to bring everyone back to reality by pointing out that if you want to see what Hailey would look like as a man, just look at her uncle and father because genetics don't lie. But someone else immediately shut that down by saying that Hailey's mother must have contributed some serious genes because the Baldwin men are not exactly setting beauty standards. That's a harsh assessment, but not entirely unfair when you look at the family. Whoever keeps creating these AI male versions of Hailey needs to stop though, and that's not a joke. People are out here developing actual crushes on artificial intelligence, and that cannot be healthy for anyone involved. Hailey responded to all this attention in her own way by sharing a video on social media where she wrote that she really wishes she had a brother for everyone, but sorry, she doesn't. She's embraced this whole thing rather than getting defensive about it, which is actually a pretty mature way to handle the internet losing its collective mind over an AI version of you. And of course, anytime we talk about Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez has to enter the conversation because that triangle is never going away. Someone created an AI male version of Selena too, and the comparison started immediately. People were saying that male Selena looks like a massive manipulator, which is harsh, but that's the internet for you. He looks like someone who would show up on Love Island and cause drama for an entire season. But beyond the AI shenanigans, there's actual evidence that Justin and Hailey are doing better than they have in a long time. This isn't speculation or reaching for content. This is based on actual footage and interactions that show a different side of their relationship. Justin has developed this habit of going live on Twitch, which gives off serious Black Mirror vibes with how much of his life he's willing to broadcast to strangers on the internet. But now that Hailey has started joining these streams, we're getting to see how they interact with each other in more natural moments. One thing that's becoming clear about Hailey is that she's incredibly mature and nurturing in the way she handles Justin. She seems to recognize that he's emotionally stuck at around 13 years old in a lot of ways, probably because of the trauma he experienced and the fact that he never got a normal childhood or adolescence. Their relationship works because she's simultaneously his wife and the maternal figure he needs to keep him grounded. It's unconventional, but if it works for them, who are we to judge? In previous clips that circulated online, we saw Justin slamming doors on Hailey, leaving her behind, acting either careless or actively angry at her. Those moments were uncomfortable to watch because they showed a side of their relationship that didn't look healthy at all. But something changed when they went to Tokyo, Japan. The footage from that trip shows a completely different Justin, one who's affectionate and considerate and actually seems happy to be with his wife. He tells her she looks pretty, asks if she's excited about the pop-up event they're attending, and there's this genuine warmth between them that's been missing in other public appearances. People in the comments are eating it up because this is the Justin everyone wants to see. Maybe there's something in the air or water in Asia that makes celebrities act right, because we've seen similar transformations with other stars. Kanye West behaves more normally in Tokyo and Korea than he does anywhere else, which is saying something given his track record lately. Justin was even whispering to the camera during his live stream in Tokyo, showing manners and consideration that we haven't seen from him in forever. He talked about living in his dreams and what a great day it was, inviting people to join them for the ride while he played music and hung out with his beautiful queen in the corner. That version of Justin, the one who's peaceful and happy and treating his wife with love and respect, that's the transformation everyone's been praying for. He even shared an Instagram clip from the stream talking about what a great day he had spending time with Hailey and promoting his brand Skylark. It looks like Hailey might be getting her own collection with the brand, which makes perfect sense given that she sold her company Rode for $1 billion and clearly understands aesthetics and branding. In another clip from the Tokyo trip, Justin amps Hailey up when she's showing off slides from the collection, telling her that people care and encouraging her to talk to the camera. There's this awkward laugh she does that feels so genuine and real, like she's not used to being put on the spot like that, but she's going with it because her husband is supporting her. Comments on these videos are asking if Justin got PR training, because this is the first time many people have actually seen him appear to like his wife in public. Others are defending their relationship by saying he's always loved her and it was just Selena's fans who made it seem otherwise. Behind-the-scenes footage shows Justin being joyful, taking pictures with everyone in Japan, no fights with paparazzi, just peace and happiness for once. This is the kind of energy people have been praying for when it comes to Justin, for him to find some peace after everything he's been through with Diddy and Scooter Braun and all the other people who've taken advantage of him over the years. Hailey talked about designing a jacket with Skylark and how excited they both are about the collaboration. These jackets cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, so this is serious business. Hailey added that she's just happy Justin wants her to be part of it and that they asked her to come in and make something with them. She's happy to be included, which is actually sweet when you think about how much success she's had on her own. Of course, Justin can't go too long without some kind of drama, so he recently called out Apple over their iPhone design. He posted about how if he hits the dictation button after sending a text, it beeps and stops his music. He threatened to find everyone at Apple and put them in a rear naked chokehold, which is quite the threat even if he's joking. He explained that even if he turns off dictation, he somehow hits the voice note thing because the send button has multiple functions in the same spot. It's a frustration that a lot of people can relate to, and Apple does have a tendency to overcomplicate things that should be simple. Elon Musk decided to chime in on Justin's complaint, adding fire emojis and agreeing that Justin's right. Of course, Elon would jump on any opportunity to take shots at one of his competitors, and Apple is definitely on that list. If Apple ever actually fixes this issue, it won't be because of their internal testing or analytics. It'll be because Justin Bieber yelled loud enough to make some noise and force them to pay attention. Maybe Justin is the voice of the people after all, using his platform to address issues that regular users deal with every day. So where does all this leave us? Justin and Hailey seem to be in a better place when they're away from the pressures of home and the constant scrutiny of Los Angeles. Tokyo brought out a version of Justin that we haven't seen in years, someone who's present and grateful and actually enjoying his life. But the question hanging over everything is whether that peace can survive if Hailey gets her way and they have another baby soon. The people closest to Justin are worried that he's not ready, that he's still too fragile, that adding more pressure could undo all the progress he's made. Maybe they need to focus on maintaining the happiness they found in Japan before they think about expanding their family. Or maybe another baby would give Justin a new purpose and something positive to focus on instead of dwelling on his trauma. Only time will tell what happens next for this couple, but one thing is certain. The world is watching and waiting to see if Justin can hold it together or if the cracks will start showing again. His journey has been painful to watch at times, but there's also hope that he can find lasting peace and happiness. Whatever comes next, people are rooting for him to succeed and find the stability he deserves. If you made it this far, make sure you're subscribed because this story is far from over and you'll want to be here when the next chapter unfolds. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the NE.